Welcome to Word 2010, Creating a Table of Contents. We will be discussing quite a few topics today around the concept of table of contents in Word 2010. First off, we'll start by discussing what is a table of contents. We've got some examples to show you. We'll go through several examples of marking your document, what that means and what it looks like. We'll show you several ways to insert a table of contents into your Word 2010 document. We'll also look at a couple of different ways to update your table of contents, including modifying it. And lastly, we'll wrap up with the concept of other methods where you can modify, insert, and manipulate a table of contents in Word 2010. First off, you might be wondering, well, what is a table of contents? In Word 2010, a table of contents is very similar to a table of contents in a book. It shows you the chapters or sections or headings in your book with relevant page numbers. As you can see here, it's a reference point for the contents of your document. When working in Word 2010, though, you have a link that takes you directly into the text of your document just by holding down the Control key and clicking on the appropriate page number. By having the page numbers associated with the chapter or section headings, it allows users that open up your Word document to get a better feel for the document and what lies ahead. Here's an example of a table of contents. As you can see, we have a header up top, we have some section labels, and then off to the right, just past the dot leaders, we have page numbers associated with those items. Page number 1 for Case Map Fundamentals is what we'll click on. And that jumps us down into our document. You'll note that there's a couple of items on here that we can see in our screenshot that are actually up inside the table of contents. Case Map Fundamentals and the Case Map screen. This is how that linking works directly with the document between the table of contents. It takes you right into the document and it gives you an exact link to the text that you're looking for. In order to get a table of contents created, you first have to mark the text and sort of label it and let the document know you're going to be part of the table of contents. The first thing we'll tackle is how many ways there are that you can mark your document, and then we'll look at what exactly it looks like as we're going through this process. For the very first marking process, you'll want to use a keyboard shortcut, Alt, Shift, and O. And a best practice suggestion for using this is to select the text that you want to mark prior to holding down this keyboard shortcut combination. In this example here, I had selected Case Map Fundamentals and then selected Alt, Shift, O on my keyboard, and that presented me with the Mark Table of Contents Entry dialog box. The top of the dialog box, you can see the entry is the exact text that I had selected prior to holding down Alt, Shift, O. If you don't have the text selected and you hit Alt, Shift, O, the entry text field is empty, and you can either type it in manually or you can engage the document in the background. The next item there, the table identifier, is on C by default for table of contents. There are other choices in there for additional table of contents as well as items called table of authorities. We'll be focusing on a regular table of contents and we won't be adjusting this as we go. The next item down though, the level, is defaulted to 1. And the level dictates the hierarchy or the assignment in the table of contents that the text you have marked or you're getting ready to mark, and how it needs to appear in your table of contents. So for example, section headings and chapter headings are typically going to be level 1s. Subsections, subchapters, and subheadings will then end up being level 2s and level 3s, and they will be indented and tabbed underneath there. So you'll want to choose appropriately as you go through and select the text and choose your level and then you'll hit the Mark button, which is down at the bottom of the dialog box.